Welcome back to Jeff Talks Hoops. This is going to be the first installment of a weekly series where I break down my NBA power rankings. We are admittedly in a weird spot in the NBA season. It's just started to get going, entering week 3 here. You've got teams who are underperforming that people thought were going to be really good, and you've got teams that are exceeding expectations that people thought were going to miss the playoffs. So it's hard to find that balance between ranking teams based off of the success they've had so far this year compared to what you think of them as a team. That said, that is exactly what I'm going to try to do today. I'm going to be ranking these left to right. So the team that's all the way at the right in the bottom column will be number 30. The team that's all the way at the left in the top column will be number 1. Without further ado, let's get into it. No surprise here, coming in at number 30, the Washington Wizards. This is a very bad basketball team, and everyone was expecting them to be a very bad basketball team. They have pretty much reached those expectations so far. Coming in at number 29, we have the Utah Jazz. I like Lauri Markkanen quite a bit. Jordan Clarkson is a competent player. This team just doesn't have enough pieces, and they're continuing to rebuild following the Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert trades. So they'll get there. At number 28, we have the Houston Rockets. Obviously, looking at this roster, this team is more talented than the 28th best squad in the association. Fred VanVleet, Jalen Green, Jabari Smith Jr., Alperen Sengun, among others. This is a really good team. They just haven't put it together yet. Similar to the Jazz, but I do think they have a chance to actually make some noise and make a play and push. Right now, we're just not seeing it. Number 27, the Charlotte Hornets. This is a fun team to watch and also one of the most chaotic organizations in all of basketball. But hey, Eric Collins is my favorite announcer in the sport right now. So at least you have that, and LaMelo. Number 26, the Memphis Grizzlies picked up their first win last night. As of right now, it is really ugly just because when Smart or Desmond Bane are not on the floor, the playmaking just completely plateaus. That said, this is a very well-coached squad. I think the world of Taylor Jenkins. I think their roster is more talented than the results we're seeing so far. So hopefully this win propels them to continue to go up in these rankings. Number 25, the Portland Trail Blazers. I really like how this squad has looked outside of Scoot Henderson so far, who obviously is injured at the moment and has not had a good start to his NBA career in the regular season. That said, Malcolm Brogdon is showing that he is far from cooked after being traded from the Celtics. I like what Robert Williams has given them so far in limited minutes. They got a lot of injury issues, but I like the core. And when they've been on the floor together, it's looked much better than I think a lot of people were expecting. Number 24, the Chicago Bulls. It's been time to blow it up for quite some time now. That's all I have to say about this team. Number 23, the fun Detroit Pistons squad. Asar Thompson looks fantastic. He's not going to win Rookie of the Year, but he should be in the running. Jalen Duren is an offensive rebound machine, one of the youngest players in the NBA. This core looks like they could be special sooner rather than later. Shout out Cade Cunningham, who has bounced back tremendously from last season's injury. 22, the Toronto Raptors. Scotty Barnes as the primary playmaker is paying major dividends right now. I have been really impressed with what I've seen from him. This Raptor squad, they're going to play everyone tough. It feels like going up to Toronto is a massive home court advantage. I like what I've seen from them so far. They have a chance to move up in these rankings over the next couple weeks. Number 21, the Indiana Pacers. When Tyrese Halliburton is on the floor, this is a top 15, maybe even top 12 team in the association. That is how good he has been with this supporting cast. When he's off the floor, it is really, really ugly. 20, the Brooklyn Nets. It feels like this team doesn't have nearly as high a ceiling as a lot of other squads here, even some squads below them on this list, but they play hard every single night. I'm a huge Mikal Bridges guy. Cam Thomas is lighting the world on fire right now, so it's been really impressive. Number 19, the San Antonio Spurs, one of the most fun young teams in the association. They do not know how to close games yet because they are so young, but with Greg Popovich coaching them, they're going to get there sooner rather than later. Wemby has been fantastic. Devin Vassell has been awesome. Keldon Johnson is continuing to find his role alongside those two other guys. I think Zach Collins has been pretty good. There's a lot to be excited about with this Spurs squad, and they already have a couple of big statement wins over teams like the Suns. Number 18, the Oklahoma City Thunder. The numbers haven't been there for Shea this season compared to what they were last season, but I think a majority of that is due to the rest of the supporting cast starting to step up, specifically Chet Holmgren, who he's not Victor Wembanyama, but he looks like he could be a force in this league on both ends of the floor. So there's plenty of room to go up for this OKC squad. Number 17, the Miami Heat, and it feels like I'm honestly being a little generous with this Heat squad because it has looked pretty ugly so far. They do not have enough talent to contend with the high-end teams this year. They lost significant rotational pieces this offseason. They put all their eggs in the Damian Lillard basket. It didn't pay off. They need to turn, adjust, pivot, and find their next superstar to pair with the core they have right now, or else their window has completely closed. Number 16, the New York Knicks. Too much Julius Randle. I think every Knicks fan knows that. Need more Jalen Brunson. RJ Barrett has looked good. Too much Julius Randle. If you can find a way to move on from him, bring back something in return. I understand it's still early in the season and he is a competent offensive player. I just want those shots to be distributed to players who can do more with them. Number 15, the Orlando Magic, and I just can't justify putting them any higher than this despite them being the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference right now, just because we know that they're going to drop off at some point in terms of wins and losses, the overall results. How can you not be ecstatic if you're a Magic fan with what you've seen from Paolo and the rest of this young core? It is coming together in Orlando. 14, the Cleveland Cavaliers. This team is underperforming so far, but I still do believe they have one of the deepest rosters in the league. They're going to turn the corner sooner rather than later. I firmly believe that. As of right now, can't put them any higher than 14th based on what I've seen so far this season. Number 13, the Minnesota Timberwolves still have significant questions on if the Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns front court can work, but if they can figure it out, this team has Western Conference Finals potential, in my opinion, especially this season. That's just going to be the deciding factor for them. Anthony Edwards continues to look fantastic. Number 12, the Sacramento Kings. De'Aaron Fox is hurt right now, so it's hard to rank them among these other contenders. But when he's on the floor, they have played pretty much every team tough so far in their early schedule. We know what this Kings team is capable of. They just have to, 1, stay healthy, and 2, probably make a trade deadline acquisition or 2 just to bolster their roster. Number 11, the Atlanta Hawks, who have really turned a corner ever since they brought Quinn Snyder into the equation. Seems like he has worked to unlock Trae Young. Their core looks solid after moving on from John Collins. The front court logjam has been opened up a little bit. I like what I've seen from them so far. You can make a case for bumping them up a little bit. Maybe this time next week, I will. Number 10, the Los Angeles Lakers, a mixed bag so far. When LeBron and AD are healthy and playing well, this team can beat any team in the association. When they are not playing well or when they're not healthy, they can lose to any team in the association. And that's how it's going to be with this Lakers squad. Number 9, the New Orleans Pelicans. Just won this Pelicans team. Looks like they're finally starting to pull it together. CJ McCollum's lung collapses. Hopefully he gets back on the floor sooner rather than later and everything is okay there, because this group could do something really special, and obviously for his well-being as well. Number 8, the Phoenix Suns. This is the hardest team to rank in the association because we have no idea what their core looks like, their big 3 together, when they play consistent basketball. Before the season started, based off their injury track record, I said the over-under of 17.5 games that we would see this big 3 play together, and it looks like they're going to be way under. So hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully these guys stay healthy, but I'm not optimistic so far. Number 7, the Philadelphia 76ers. Getting James Harden out of the equation has really unlocked Tyrese Maxey. Joel Embiid hasn't been prime elite Joel Embiid we've seen so far this year, but I like what Nick Nurse has done with his system, de-emphasizing pick and rolls and more working on dribble handoffs to create separation and shots for other guys, which will in turn eventually open up more opportunities for Embiid. Kelly Oubre has looked fantastic for the Sixers squad. They bolstered their depth by trading away James Harden. This team could be good this year, and by good, I mean maybe make it out of the second round good. Not holding my breath, but they look solid so far. The early returns are good. Number 6, the Los Angeles Clippers, another team that's very hard to rank because we haven't seen what James Harden looks like with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, but I do actually believe that if James Harden, just his ego, stays out of the way, if he can put it to the side, this could be the group that they actually make it work and maybe make a push for a finals appearance, because defensively they're very, very good already. And offensively, if you just let him operate as the primary playmaker, and I understand that Ty Lue said that's not necessarily how he's going to use him right off the bat, I firmly believe that he should be the one handling the ball, making the plays, opening up stuff for the other guys. If he does that, he puts his ego to the side, he doesn't feel like he needs to be the one taking late game shots, it could work out in LA. This is a dangerous squad. Obviously, health permitting, that goes without saying with this Clippers team. Number 5, the Milwaukee Bucks. The early returns on this team have been meh. I still have to rank them top 5 because of what they're capable of and what this core looks like on this squad, but as of right now, I have been underwhelmed. Number 4, the Dallas Mavericks. A lot of people, myself included, thought this team might even miss the play-in tournament heading into the season, and they have completely blown me out of the water with what I've seen on the floor so far. Kyrie Irving is back. Luka Doncic has looked good. Grant Williams and Derek Lively, that front court has worked out much better than any Mavericks fan and probably their front office could have expected with their early returns. There's still a long way to go and a lot of opportunity for Kyrie Irving specifically to completely torpedo this squad. But as of right now, I've got to give them their props. They're playing incredible basketball. They deserve to be a top 4 team in my power rankings. Speaking of a team that's playing incredible basketball, the Golden State Warriors just never going away. The Chris Paul addition has fit pretty seamlessly so far. This team, as we've heard from the coaches and the players, it seems like the Jordan Poole trade has really worked wonders in terms of team chemistry, and it has translated to on-court success so far. We'll see if they can stay healthy. We'll see if they can keep up the production at this level. But at the moment, they're a top 3 team in the NBA, in my opinion. Number 2, the Denver Nuggets. They've shown up, no championship hangover whatsoever. It's been extremely impressive. This Nikola Jokic, this squad, we know what they can do. They're a top 2 team in the association. Number 1, the only undefeated team in the NBA. The Boston Celtics are overwhelming teams with talent on the floor. The early returns have been fantastic. Kristaps Porzingis has fit seamlessly in at the 5. Drew Holiday is really finding his rhythm. Derek White looks like a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He has been phenomenal. Jason Tatum looks like he could make a push for MVP. Jaylen Brown has really been the only one whose production hasn't been where you would expect it to be, but that's because you've got these other incredibly talented players in the rotation. His usage rate's going to dip a little bit. It's not going to be as consistent on a night-to-night basis, so it's understandable that the numbers may shrink a little bit. He's going to figure it out and make it work as the season continues to move forward. But as of right now, the Celtics are the best team in the NBA, and I think there might be a sizable gap between them and the Denver Nuggets at 2. That's it for my Week 3 NBA Power Rankings. Stay tuned for the second installment of this series next week, and I'll be back over the next couple days with more reactions.